It's almost like playing a video game. You get to get on the bike and feel what it actually does feel like. That's the most fun part for me, because the bike becomes extremely unpredictable. For a championship to come so close and win by such a small margin, sometimes things happen for a reason. My name is Jake Mechaell. I am a bespoke bike builder. We fabricate turbo kits, fuel tanks, we do engine building. We've got a dyno that's just been installed. So we do tuning, we do track side support and tuition, and anything else bike related really. I actually started off mountain bike racing years ago in the early 90s, late 90s. Went pro in 2001, I won the British Championship doing that, and then moved on to motocross. Did motocross for about 5 or 6 years. Due to running out of talent and injuring myself too much, I found street bikes. So rode street bikes for a good few years. Surprised I didn't lose my licence, and then my children were born, so it was time to sell the street bikes and take on the family life. And then not too long after, decided to buy a drag bike. Bit of a safer environment, still get the need for speed, and then just built my way through the ranks from there. I grew up in Northamptonshire, and my childhood was quite colourful in the fact that my dad was into his hot rods, American cars and Harleys, and rock music, had their own band, so we'd be in a pub, listening to music, out in the American cars, just having fun really. So I started racing in 2009. I actually bought a 950 bike which was already done, stripped it, checked it over, and done a few run with your brungs. So I've worked my way up through the ranks from 950 through to 850, and now we're in super street bike, which is kind of the top sort of tier you can get to in street tyre drag bike racing. We're not allowed to run wheelie bars and anything like that, so it's huge horsepower on a street legal tyre. It makes it quite entertaining and fun ride. That's kind of what I'm into. Really, I kind of do everything for myself. It's not for anything more than that. I just like to build my own bike, tune my own bike, reach my own goals, and whoever's in the other lane, other side at that time is irrelevant. I just want to get to the other end as fast as I can and do it for me really. So when I got into motorsport, it was purely through my father. So he was in drag racing since like the 70s. From 3 weeks old, it was the first time I went to St Raceway.
Jake Mechaell really does get up to some antics with this car. It tends to leap around a little bit. It's a very short wheelbase, so let's see how they get on. Well, away together, and they're really flying through there. It's Norm Wilding at the top end though, and a 6:35 for Norm Wilding, 192 miles per hour, but the quickest ever.
The car is based on a 1923 Ford, so you know, to do 205 mile an hour in 6 seconds, we're really pleased. Yeah.
I would love to have sort of followed in his footsteps, but the cost and the logistics of running a car are quite expensive. So the whole bike thing, you can kind of do it on your own. You don't have to rely on crew. Everything's manageable. So it made life a lot easier to go the bike route. Not to say I won't go to cars at some point. It's still a dream of mine to sort of build my way back into that sort of scene. So yeah, the adrenaline side of things with our sport, for me it's all the launch and getting to the 8th mile. That's the trickiest part of the track. So that's the most fun part for me, because the bike becomes extremely unpredictable. That to me is really exciting. So and also by tuning the bike myself, it's almost like playing a video game, but you get to get on the bike and feel what it actually does feel like. So we finished second in the European Championship last year, but we did miss both rounds at Sweden. At the time we just couldn't find the time to have off work and the financial side of it as well. So we decided to just sit Sweden out and just do our usual 3 rounds. But by coming runner-up again, the rest of the team were going to take no for an answer. So for 2025, we all decided to do the whole tour together as a team and make some memories. and just to see how he got on.
My name's Jake Mechaell. I've been racing since I was 16 years old on a GSXR 1000 and 950 bike. First time I watched drag racing I was very young, but all my life being around it, it's always been a dream of mine to follow in his footsteps and achieve what he's achieved and more. Having Dad as a dad, but also a teammate and everything, is good because you get to spend a lot of time together and make a lot of memories. Taking his knowledge on board after all of his experience is really helpful and is the reason why I've achieved what I have today.
He's always kind of been quite into it. Even when he was probably like even 8 years old, you could hear him in the background explaining bracket racing, so he kind of had a good understanding of it all. That's part of it, the racecraft and the understanding of how the racing is. Especially with bracket racing, it plays a big part in your success. So I could kind of tell that he was keen. It just needed to get him onto a motorbike and teach him the fundamentals to build himself up to where he is today.
He's given me everything I've needed and pointed me in the right direction. As far as like learning racecraft and that, he's given me pointers and tips, but kind of let me develop my own style of how I race as well.
I kind of help him progress as quickly as possible. I know his temperament and I know how to speak to him and how to get that information into him. So, you know, before each run I'll give him a little pep talk, a bit of advice, even last minute, which will make all the difference for him, keep him calm and focused.
Living up to the family name can have a bit of pressure, but after what I've achieved this year, and I kind of feel like I've proved myself quite a bit.
When he's on the racetrack, he feels at home. Seeing him win his championship and get most promising newcomer kind of means the world to me. Kind of done the job right, and he's reaping the benefits from it. So yeah, at the Festival of Power from memory, we qualified #1 and won the meeting. The bike had been running really well from the start of the season, so just a few fine adjustments to get our new parts to all work as we wanted them to. So we went into most of the British Championship rounds, qualifying first and winning the meetings, and setting low ET of the class at the last meet of the year with a 661 at 225 miles an hour. So leading up to the main event, it's quite a lot of work to do, obviously for myself and the rest of the team. To get us ready to start the European Championship off, so important, because the first meeting, if that one doesn't go to planned, with there only being 4 rounds in the European Championship, you'll be so far behind, it's almost impossible to sort of grab onto the first sort of top running guys in the class. So yeah, lots of work to do, lots of engine preparation. Everything actually starts to all come together probably a month or 2 before. We've got Brad Head, who rides for us, Costas as well, and Jack. So with 4 super street bikes throughout the season, it gets a bit hectic. Before a run, we all go out onto a track just to check the condition. Generally, if we're after the same class every run, we get a feel for how to tune the bikes. And the last thing to do is just quickly have a little check on the track. What normally happens is the slick tyre cars will go out a few classes before us. Then after that, it'll be like top fuel bike, pro stock bike, that sort of thing, which means that now we're only down to like a 1 groove line just off that motorcycle tyre. So instead of having the left and right groove to choose from, generally we need the warmer part of the track. So wherever top fuel bike and pro stock bike have decided to go, that's going to keep that groove warm for us. By just checking that track where the bike's going to launch on, it just gives us the last little bit of an indication on what power setting to sort of adjust for the bike on that part of the track. So on the bikes we'll have like a map switch, so we can make some fine adjustments before our run. And so the weather does affect our bikes by quite a margin. It's wind mostly, like the turbocharged sort of methanol setup. If the altitude changes slightly, then we still get enough horsepower to put on some good numbers. But the wind does play a big effect on what we do. If it's like a headwind or tailwind, it's okay. But as soon as we get like a slight diagonal headwind, well, it makes the bikes really difficult to ride. They try and sort of wash the front out as you're going through the finish line. So always have to keep an eye on that. Fortunately at St Pod Raceway they've got the windmills up, so we can get an idea of which direction the wind's coming from. As we stage the bikes, we can either slightly offset ourselves, or we can, personally, I'll ride as straight as I can to the 8th, and then I'll make an adjustment to try and fight against that sort of characteristic for the second part of the run. Going into the main event on the Saturday, we run a 675 that give us P1 in qualifying. Almost a textbook run, always trying to find that little bit more. Which evidently showed in Q4 with a 681. So perhaps just trying a little bit too hard on the final qualifier to protect that #1 position. Main event on the Sunday for Q3. First run out of the day is always a little bit unpredictable, because through the evening with the weather and things like that, the track conditions can change slightly. So although you've gathered some data previously, it can still not quite work out. The first pass on the Sunday, we had a little bit of wheel spin, and then what happened is once we spin the tyre, the boost curve is on a timer, so although we spin, we're not on the track position where we're supposed to be. So once the bike does find traction again, we're kind of chasing a boost curve, which is almost unrideable. So what had happened is the bike had spun the tyre a little bit, we'd fell behind the boost time curve, and then in turn, by trying to chase that, once the bike found traction again, it became quite lively, picking the front up about 2 or 3 times, but still managed to run a 6.8. Going into eliminations as a leader in qualifying, it gives you a bit more confidence over the rest of the class. You've got your job done early on, puts you on a good side of the ladder. You sort of, there's different positions that go on a split ladder, so it sort of determines who you're going to face as you work your way through the day. There's never an easy run, but not facing your rivals till a bit later on is helpful, because as the championship goes on, it gives you a bit more of a chance to stay in touch with those guys later on in the year. Eliminations round 1 against Dandiath. It was a tune-up that should get us through that round. When we change a tune-up to be a bit safe, sometimes it can cause a few extra problems. It's all about getting the load onto the tyre to maintain traction. So when we back the bike off a little bit, it can kind of cause a few little issues. The way the chassis are set up on these bikes, they're set up so once they're under torque and load, they're actually running straight. But once they start to spin the tyre, they kind of go out a little bit, which can kind of drive the bikes left. Sometimes by playing it safe, which is what we had done, we put a 6.9 on the board to get the round win. But in doing that, losing traction without keeping load on the tyre made us go left quite hard. So in aim to try and get lane choice for round 2, we still had to put on a good full pass, which getting close to the centre line, sometimes that does happen, but we got the job done. And I think we took lane choice for round 2. So running into eliminations round 2 against Jack Shook, so kind of dodged a bullet in that round. Done the burnout, went up to a pre-stage to find that Jack's bike had cut out. Unfortunately, his lanyard wire had snapped. We got lucky, launched the bike, and probably about 200 feet out had a few problems which were sort of unexplainable at the time, so I had to roll the throttle and shut off. Getting back to the pits, it turned out that we had some issues with our throttle position sensor not reading correctly. The way the ECUs work is they rely heavily on what throttle position you're at for certain things to start to work, so that's why the bike wouldn't behave the way it did. But luckily got through that round to head us into the semi-finals. So yeah, top 4, quick guys, going to put a good show on, but unfortunately the rain came and none of us got to run. So we left the main event as championship leaders after taking #1 qualifier and reaching the semi-finals with the other 3. So going into the Sportsman Nationals for Q1, it's kind of just one of those days and tune-ups. We just put something in the bike that we knew would give us a good sort of Q1 time, running 6.7 to take Q1 against Steve Venables. Yeah, everything went as planned. It was just a good tune-up again to build off for the rest of qualifying. Half a second lead on the rest of the class is quite exceptional. Everyone has their own little issues, people are testing their own things, you don't really know what they're up to. Most people get dialed in by the end of qualifying, so although we had quite an advantage going to Q2 over everybody else, at any point that can get swallowed up. So we just got to stick to our own game plan and just tune off what we've got and just do what we can. So yeah, the 6.71 against Josh Stubbins. Same as normal, just build off our own tune-ups and just try and see where we can find the breaking point of the track. Yeah, 6.71. Josh is new to the class, so great to race against him as well. Eliminations round 1 against Rodolfo. Yeah, we're in a 6.69. Same again, it's just a good solid pass to start the day off on. Normally I play things a little bit safer going into eliminations round 1, but we had quite an advantage on the rest of the field, so I felt that rolling the dice a bit was okay to do, and if the bike weren't behaving itself, I'd still be able to control it to run a decent number to take the win. Great way to start eliminations with a time like that. Yeah, so eliminations round 2, we got a bye run. That was due to someone having a failure and not making it to the start line. So yeah, we just took the bye run to take us into the final against Steve Venables. So yeah, racing against Steve in the final. We've been there a few times before. A brilliant guy. If anything, I wouldn't be in Super Street Bike without him. So a lot of respect for him. No games were ever played, it's just straight into stage and a good race every time. So on this particular run, we both actually put too much power in, so we both ran 7-second passes, mine just a bit better than his, getting the win, but yeah, span for probably half of the track. Not ideal, but yeah, we got the win, that was the most important thing. Yeah, it's kind of a team effort, you know, we're all there together. So yeah, when I win, we kind of all win. We got to about 100 feet out, just felt it trying to turn the tyre. Just sort of sat back a little bit just to find some grip and it just hooked hard. Weren't the tidiest of runs that we got here done.
He's into the 6th this weekend. Of course, let's hear Jake Mechaell.
We normally stay on the last day of the race meeting to sort of have a drink and wind down and have a bit of a catch up together on the whole weekend success. So yeah, good times. It's nice to be able to go up there and collect the trophy, especially with Super Street Bike. The journey I've been on through the years and the different classes, that class that I'm in now has always been kind of a dream that kind of came true, mainly through hard work and determination, but we got there in the end. So yeah, go to Sportsman Nationals. So to run like a 7:18 in Q1 isn't ideal. You need to be really in the sixes from the word go nowadays. Although it's not a good run, there's still plenty of data to be gathered. It will eventually come in useful at some point. So we just take the positives where we can. After running the 7 in Q1, some issues we had spotted with the new engine we was building. Wasn't quite happy with them, so I decided to just be careful and put another engine in. So we missed Q2, came out in Q3 against Costas and ran a 6.7 with a setup that we knew, which really should have done that in Q1, to be honest. Q4 against Chris Reed. We tried to push on a little bit from our 6.7 tune-up, but we pushed a bit too hard, losing a little bit of traction, which in turn just pushed the bike left by unloading the chassis. So a bit of a handful, but we got it to the other end to run the 6.8. So yeah, unfortunately at Sportsman Nationals on Eliminations Day, we woke up to rain and it just didn't want to stop. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, being as it's called the Sportsman Nationals, that it gets rained off. You got to be there just in case, but yeah, that day just never happened. So the meeting was cut short, unfortunately, and that was that. As a lot of people know, our workshop is next door to Sandpole Raceway, so we don't get that road trip fun. So my son and myself, we loaded the van up, just decided to go light, just take what we needed, and went on a 30-hour drive. Nitro Olympics, Hockenheim Ring is like no other. The atmosphere there is incredible, and the track is only there once a year, so it's an unpredictable track, makes it a tuner's track, which is something I really enjoy. We did the job, qualified number 1, and actually went on to win the meeting. The track's not really flat, go over a bit of a hill. The traction's always a bit unpredictable, but we got the job done and kept ourselves in a position to chase the championship after going out in the semi-finals in Sweden. So coming to the European finals, we left Germany in 3rd position. We had a bit of work to do, and it was quite a quick sort of turnaround. We got back to the workshop Tuesday, put another engine in the bike, I went into the racetrack on Wednesday evening, ready for qualifying on Friday. So just gave us a Thursday to sort of get everything in place after a quick turnaround from Hockenheim, get scrutineering done, signed on, make sure everything's all there ready to go for Q1. So we're here at Q1 at European Finals, and I'm literally about to get a Teams call because my daughter's stuck in Greece, believe it or not. We had to get on a video call to the embassy to prove our identity to get her back in the country. Whilst we was down there, I was kind of thinking what's going to happen is, as I go around to do my burnout, is when the phone's going to ring. Fortunately, it rang 5-10 minutes before. Halfway through the call, thinking it was going to go on a bit longer than I thought, I actually asked them, is it okay if you just hold? And we'll talk to you at the bottom end when I finish my pass. But luckily, yeah, they got enough information and were happy with what they got, so it was all okay. It was great to start in P1. The 679 again was another tune-up that we know that we've got in the bike that works generally at most tracks. So yeah, a good way to start the weekend off, taking P1. We also get a bonus point system for qualifying. So for the top 3 positions in each qualifying round, we get up to 3 bonus points. So the fastest qualifier of that session will get the 3, second will get 2, and third will get 1. So we managed to take the 3 bonus points in that qualifying session. Going up against Luke, if we can get to the finish line before him, it means that he'll be a few points less than what I am. probably pushed the bike a bit too hard, hence the wheelie to try and control and bring back down. So in turn, we tried to claim as many points as possible, but ended up walking away with none in that qualifying session. And Luke actually took the maximum 3. The 672 in Q3, we had kind of tried to split the difference on the tune-ups between the Q1 and Q2 tune-ups to try and get something that would work. Wasn't quite quick enough to take P1, but we stayed in P2 and picked up some more points ready for the last qualifying session.
Al Morrison is on a 686.
The last qualifier against Luke, we just had to push for P1 to make sure we got the points to keep the championship alive going to elimination round. So yeah, we got the tune-up about right this time, run a 669, got the P1 and got the bonus points, which played a big part through the eliminations day. So going against Mogans is always a tough guy to beat. He's been doing it a very long time now. So there's no easy sort of round to go through. Just put like a sort of safe sort of setting to get us through the elimination rounds earlier on. We only just beat him, so what had happened in Q4 is we'd put a good pass in to take #1 qualifier, but unbeknown to us until eliminations round 1, the bike wasn't really reacting correctly off the start line. It was 60 foot and 330 times, we were a bit off. What it turned out to be was the exhaust valves. It had bent 2 exhaust valves in the engine. So didn't know that at the time. Managed to get the round win just about and get to round 2 where we decided to put more power in to try and correct the issues with it being a bit slow to 60 and 330. But we got through round 2 to lead us on to the semi-finals. Going to the semi-finals against Ross Morrison, same again, more power was put in to try and get the short numbers down. The exhaust valve problem had obviously got worse, losing the race. We were 6-7 to a better 6-7, so Ross went through to the final to face Luke, and we was out for the weekend, but had earned enough points with Alan going out in the quarterfinals to take the championship lead. Luke was in the title chase as well. Managed to win the meeting and gain enough points to knock Alan down to 3rd place and finished runner-up himself, so congratulations to him as well. The payoff from winning the championship, a lot of hard work went into getting there, not just for myself but looking after the team at the same time at all the same events. So to come away with the championship win after setting out to do it meant a lot. You know, it's been a long time coming after coming close a few years before. So that evening we drank a lot of Kestrel beer to celebrate. You know, it's just kind of like a family thing. Everyone comes out, all the team, all the riders, all the families. We do a bit of travelling and a bit of a holiday in between and just make some good memories together.